All right. Hello and welcome to today's business mentoring session. I am so delighted that you're here. I want you to take a second and really soak this in. You were personally invited to be here because I see something in you, your voice, your story, your potential. You didn't start this coaching journey just to play small. You started it because you know you're meant for more freedom, more impact, and more income, and a business that actually lights you up. And let me guess, you've probably asked yourself, is my niche clear enough? Where are the leads? Am I charging the right price or totally undercharging? How do I grow without burning out or second guessing myself? If this resonates with you, type in a +1 and breathe. You're not alone. You're in the right room with the right people, and this session is for you. This session is tailored based on your responses that you submitted, what you shared with me in the survey. Here's what I do know. Many of you are still early in your journey, just getting started or making under 5K months. Some of you haven't monetized yet. Almost all of you want more clarity, consistency, and clients. And the number one thing I heard, I want to generate more consistent leads, clients, and sales. That's you, type in a +1 or heck yes. But I also want to grow in a way that doesn't burn me out. For those who are new to me, hello and welcome. I'm Diana YK Chan, a career coach turned business growth strategist, an 11-time LinkedIn Learning instructor, 7-time UN speaker, and a recognized top LinkedIn and personal branding expert. I've helped my clients build 6 and 7-figure businesses, transition from one-on-one to scalable group coaching programs, reach consistent 20K to 100K plus months, land 5-figure speaking and brand deals, diversify their income with coaching, speaking, partnerships, and licensing. So that's what today is about. Part of why I'm so passionate about this work and giving back, hosting mentoring sessions like this is I've walked through this journey myself. After over a decade of coaching and running my business, I've now hit consistent 50K, 150K, and 250K months. I've had also 100K sales days, weeks, and months. In fact, recently I was in Japan for 2 weeks. After taking 2 weeks off in Japan with my family, I came back-to-back 100K weeks. And that's the power of building a business that's rooted in strategy, systems, and alignment. And that's what I want to help you create too. So here's what to expect today. Here's what we're going to spend time on today. We're going to walk you through what it actually takes to build a thriving multi-6-figure business. We'll also talk about the common mistakes coaches make. I'll share what to double down on to get more leads, clients, and sales. You'll also hear case studies and client examples so you can see what's possible for you. And then finally, in the last 10 minutes or so, I'll share how you can work with me if you're ready for deeper support, as some of you have expressed that interest. So I want to hear from you. What's either been your biggest challenge lately in your business or what you're currently working on, what you're trying to figure out? Either type in the comment here, or if you're brave, you want to come on camera, feel free to raise your hand by clicking on the react button so I can see you and put you on here on camera here. Share with us a little bit what you're currently working on, what you need help on, or what's your challenge here. Sangeetha, and then Remy.
Thank you. Thanks, Diana. Yes, so I think I'm currently working for the rest of you all who are in the meeting for the first time. I am a career coach and as well as a leadership coach, and I am now slowly transitioning into full-time entrepreneurship. So I think my biggest challenge is how do I pick a niche? One, it's the audience or the clients that I want to serve, and can I retain these two elements of coaching and still create a sustainable business? That's something that I'm really looking forward to learning from today. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Remy?
Well, I started about full time about a year ago, and leadership coach. I'm trying to focus on finance people. My biggest challenge was last year trying to figure out where, a bit like what you say, Sangeeta, where do I go? Do I work with finance people, IT people, in Spanish, in French, in English, in Portuguese, whatever the language I can work on? And I was all spread. Now I'm figuring out that I want to work with finance people, and I'm focusing on that. My biggest challenge right now is I'm putting a lot of effort in that and trying to see how that builds slowly. And I think that's this point of saying is, do I have to change now, or do I carry on working a little bit on that niche for a few months more to see if that really picks up?
Got
That's
it.
really my question of saying, am I in the right place? But
Got
basically,
it.
talking
Okay.
to
Because it sounds to me that you picked your niche, but you feel like the effort or that you're putting in may not be getting the results that you're desiring, right?
yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Emmanuel, I saw your hand up here. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I did have my hands up. Let me say thank you to Sangeeta and Remy, because you two just calmed my soul, reminding me that I'm not a voice in the wilderness. In fact, what I feel like I am is that I'm a ship in water, um, not so much rudderless, but having the wrong size and type of rudder, right? I'm rowing, I'm paddling, I'm moving sometimes in a circle, sometimes backwards, sometimes forward, sometimes all over the place. Um, my And again, also trying to find my niche, because I do career coaching, I do life coaching, I do speech coaching, and right now we've got an election coming up. So there's a bunch of politicians who I'm helping prepare for their debate. And I know the public speaking thing is something I'm good at, I'm comfortable with, but I'm not sure if that's a scalable endeavor. I know the career coaching piece is what I do well. I've been doing this forever. And perhaps because I've been doing it for such a long time, I don't necessarily, it's not a challenge for me to tell you how to sort of direct your career, right? Because I think like yourself, Sangeeta, we know this stuff inside out. And for us, it's quote common sense. And then feeling the guilt of trying to charge people for what we know is just so bloody easy. It's a bit of a challenge, right? So yeah, it's for me, it's about getting the right size rudder, put it in the water, clearing my direction, figuring out my niche, and understanding that even though I have a niche, there will be prongs that sort of stick out that I can still generate revenues from. But finding that core element is going to be a challenge for me.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And also, concision is not my best friend, as you've just noticed.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. I feel some of you can really relate to this here. One more, Sarah, and then I'll move on here. Hey, Sarah.
Hi. So I'm in a bit of a different situation. I've been coaching for 15 years. I've got a company called Bay Street Coaching, and my niche is helping finance professionals and financial services and professional services get promoted or get into new jobs if they want to transfer their careers. And I'm fairly happy with my coaching business, but I'm at a point in time where I don't want to spend as much time trading my time for dollars. And so the idea of scaling and creating like a offer of something like group coaching or something that might be passive income, or I just spin. I just spin. So I get an idea and then I don't do anything. And that's been going on for like 8 years. That's where I'm at. I'm stuck at that.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, one more. Jason, I know you raised your hand. I'm going to move on and read a couple of response here. Jason, be quick
Diana,
as well, okay?
Diana, thank you.
Yes.
I wanted to relate to the fact that I believe with my power of partnership, that concise manner in which trying to meet people where they are, my fundraising background created sort of this 80% about them, 20% about me. And I'm finding a hard way in which trying to modulate that. I'm finding it still very 50-50 or more even me talking. And I don't know if it's overcompensating for being able to get people to open up and allow themselves to be their authentic self, because I very intentionally in everything that I present, whether it's my website, LinkedIn, create that warmth, but I'm not finding that ability to allow it to be more about them than me. So in terms of being concise, I find myself fetching.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So there's definitely a lot of consistent themes that I'm hearing right now. There's part I'm hearing is the clarity, but also the decision making of the path to go on and reevaluating with the efforts I'm putting in. Does it make sense? Do I need to make another change or not? We'll definitely talk about these things because I think sometimes these what we call it's like the analysis paralysis that could hold us back in moving forward. Right. So I want to take a moment. I'm going to share a little bit of a story before we talk about strategies here. And I want to talk about some of the common mistakes that I see working with coaches here. So let me dive into a little bit in terms of a bit of my journey. I'll give you some lessons learned in terms of my journey here. So when I first started my business in 2011, I was doing career coaching, helping professionals with pivoting into new roles, land job offers, and negotiate 5 to 6 figure salary increases. So in the early years, I worked hard. I hustled. I poured my heart into every call, every workshop, every email, every post. And it did pay off. Like within the first 3 years in business, I doubled my business year over year from 50K to 100K to 250K business. And I thought, wow, this is great. This is going well. But then in 2015 and 2017, I had my two boys and everything changed. Suddenly, I wasn't just a coach or a business owner anymore. I was also a mom. I had other obligations and responsibilities. And the version of success I had built with like nonstop, either calls, constant hustle, and that no longer fit with the life that I wanted anymore. So I felt like I hit a plateau, not just financially, but emotionally. Okay, if you can relate to this, type in a +1 because many of you have been asking me, how do I juggle it all, being an entrepreneur with kids and all that? So I started to really question everything. What does success really mean to me now? How do I want to feel in my business? Can I still grow and thrive without doing more? Right, there's this belief that in order to scale and grow, I need to hire a big team, I need to do a lot more. And that's not true. So when I made the decision that changed everything was I really redefined what success meant to me. I restructured my business around the life that I wanted. I let go of the hustle and chose more around alignment, ease, and flow. So instead of chasing every opportunity, serving everyone, I chose on the right ones, being more selective. I decided I want to build a high-touch business model with premium service and intentional offers. I created CEO Planning Mondays, where I mapped out my week with clarity and purpose. So I used to do coaching calls, sales calls. And just a couple years ago, I decided to have no meeting Mondays, where I can be in my CEO mindset to plan, grow, and scale. And then I have my Fridays, which I claim it to my CEO pampering days for rest, reflection, rejuvenating appointments, because you can have both as well. And this is where I came to a realization the last several years is, and this is my mantra, the more time off I take, the more money I make. The more I'm well rested, the more money I make. The more space I gave myself, the more clarity I had. And the more aligned I became, the more my business grew without having me to push. These are some of the lessons that I've really learned, even especially recently, having taken 2 weeks off in Japan. It gave me time to even think, how can I better market myself? How can I better sell my offerings? How can I better connect with my audience? And so this is what I want to share with you from a lesson here is you don't have to sacrifice your well-being to build a thriving business. You can grow with ease, clarity, and flow. You just need a plan and a belief that is possible for you too. And so that's what I want for each of you as well. And I want to share with you here the top 5 mistakes that I see coaches make. That's keeping talented coaches stuck in the under 5K months, no matter how much passion or potential they might have. So mistake number 1 is waiting for clarity before taking action. Most coaches stay in the thinking mode instead of the testing mode. But clarity doesn't come from overthinking. It comes from doing, from conversations, and from getting feedback in the real world. Action breeds clarity. So something that I talk a lot about is take that massive, messy action. If this is something that your heart is telling you to do this, go test it out. Okay, don't overanalyze it. You don't need the whole business plan figured out. Okay, you need a couple like milestones, but just test it out. Give yourself a good 90 days. Whatever you decide to change to, pivot into, launch, give a good 90 days before you make any other massive changes there. Okay, this is what I've been telling my clients a lot lately. If we started off saying like, hey, I'm pivoting a new niche, make a new offer, giving yourself just 30 days to test is not enough because it's not going to be your best results. And then you're going to start questioning yourself, okay, what's wrong with me here? When really it's just, we just haven't tested enough to make a decision of what to do next here. Mistake number 2 is undercharging and over delivering. This is a very common, all the clients I work with are all undercharging and over delivering. You're afraid to charge more, so you pack in more sessions, more calls, more extras. But over giving only leads to burnout. And it often attracts clients who don't take the work seriously. So price for the transformation, not your time. One of the powerful stories I want to share with you, one of my recent clients that joined me just a couple of months ago, she served over 400 clients in the last several years, but was always making under $20,000 a year. Lots of experience with coaching, okay, working full-time in corporate with a business on the side. And it was because she was charging only $250 for a service. And so we repackaged everything from $250 a la carte service, a resume writing, an interview coaching session, or a clarity session to a 2.5K and 5K package. And that literally within 8 weeks, she had her first 10K month. And so just most people undercharge, most coaches. I know a lot of you are really talented in what you do, but you're probably charging by the hour, by the session versus having a package. Mistake number 3 is trying to be everywhere and to speak to everyone. Right? That I want to do this, like leadership coaching, career coaching, or all this. So what happens is that you water down your message trying to appeal to too many people, and the audience gets confused. Okay? They get confused, like who do you really serve? Because they're trying to think like, hey, do you help people like me? That's really what they're thinking. Do you help people like me? Can they see that or not, right? So the riches are in, you probably heard that in the niches, or are in the relevance. Focus specific messaging is what cuts through the noise. This is a big one. We're going to spend a little bit more time to talk about this. Yes, you can be multi-passionate. It's okay to have that, but double down on what do you want to grow first. Like get to the 100K revenue before you diversify. Meaning that make something work first before trying to do 3 other things Okay, because then you have a baseline. Mistake number 4 is avoiding sales conversations. How many of you don't like sales at all? Avoiding sales conversations. You're posting great content, but you're not inviting people to take the next step with you. You're hoping they'll DM you, but you're not leading or initiating. You have to sell the invitation, not just the inspiration. Okay, one of my clients recently who just joined in March, who is a healer. She does human design work, amazing at what she does. Every time she talks to someone, they have a massive breakthrough. She has these networking conversations, but never invites to the next step in working with her. Once she joined the program, this is like she said, I haven't even taken any trainings of mine, she said. Her whole mindset shift to see selling as serving. Selling is serving. When she saw that selling is serving, the invitation of this networking conversation became much easier for her. And she starts then closing the 2K sales, 1K sale, like had her biggest sale ever, like 2,400% increase. Just a shift of selling is serving. Yeah. Mistake number 5 is working in your business, but not on your business. So you're stuck in delivery mode, coaching, creating, but never stepping back to plan or lead or to anticipate where you want to take your business. That's the recipe for stagnation. So you need time as the CEO, not just the coach. And this is pretty common when we're just starting, right? We're just working in the business versus on the business, right? We get our coaching certification or training. We're so excited. Let's get more clients here, which is fine. But as you continue to grow in your first year, after like the first year, we're going to start thinking, where am I taking my business? And so the shift is also like, are you running your business as a hobby or as a business? And that shifts the way you operate. Are you focused on revenue generating activities or not? Or are you being passive and waiting for people to come to inquire services or waiting for referrals there? Right? Are you putting yourself out there to let people in your network know that you're open for business? Like, this is one of the questions I ask my new clients. Do people know that you're open for business? Even though you've updated your LinkedIn, your tagline that you're in business, but do people actually know? Have you made an announcement? Do enough people know about it or not? Okay, so curious to hear what are maybe some mistakes or some things that you're aware that this is something that you need to work on here out of these five. What resonated with you? Feel free to raise your hand or put it in the chat here. Emmanuel said number 2, guilty, guilty as charged. Yes, anyone? Sangeeta.
Yeah, thanks, Diana. I think the first and foremost is trying to be everywhere and speak to everyone. Yeah, I think that really was quite, relatable, or really relatable actually, because yes, I am kind of on this double take of career versus leadership. I'm equally passionate of both. What do I do? And of course, the second one was clarity before taking action. I'm still kind of in the thinking mode, analysis versus paralysis kind of a situation. So yeah, those two are like the most relatable.
Good to know. So something I'm going to talk about, like for those who are in this space of career leadership coaching, like they go hand in hand, right? It ties in together. And so the way I want you to think about it within this space, what's the problem that you're solving? And what's the end goal in terms of transformation? Okay, so I'll give you an example. This is a very clear, specific one. So for me, when I was in career coaching, the domain I was in was specifically helping people pivot their careers and land jobs. Very specific. So I did work around career clarity that led them to job search, that led them to get a job. Now, so my positioning is around either changing jobs or landing a job that you're happy with. As I grew and I wanted to do more speaking, because I also want to do speaking in corporations at the UN and these Fortune 500 organizations, I realized they don't want to hire a job search coach because they're worried that I'm going to tell their employees to find a new job. So I had to then reposition my entire branding and positioning and messaging that I help people advance their careers. I help people to position themselves for success, to advance, or to help increase like the company performance. And so the way we want to think about it is based on who you're targeting. What do they care about? What do they care about? What are they coming to you for? And is that messaging confusing, or it's a repelling or attracting? That's how you're going to want to gauge other. Okay, because even within this space of that, it's like, what specifically is it? Even if I think about career coaching is so broad, is it clarity coaching? Is it job search coaching, which is one of the loudest one that most people are doing right now? Or is it more those who are helping leaders to advance their career, helping new leaders who are promoted, or helping people who are stuck at the director level and want to get promoted to the VP level? Or is it helping executives how to navigate organizational change? So then your messaging of what you put there gets more specific by getting clear on the pain point and the challenge that they're faced with. And so when you're trying to do both, your audience is going to be confused. Are you this or that? Right. And so you want to also ask yourself, what stage are they in this journey, the people that you want to work with? And the question I always say is that what lights you up when you think about even your space? What type of problems do you enjoy solving? What type of clients do you enjoy working with? What energizes you? What fulfills you versus what drains you? So I'll give you an example. A lot of times I have clients who come to me like, oh, Diana, I hate my job. I'm ready to make this change. I'm like, okay, great. I can help you make this change. But what I don't want to do is people coming to me complaining about their boss, about the work, all the challenges they're faced with. I'm like, that's not me. I have someone who's specialized in conflict management coaching, how to navigate tough situations, who does that. So I'm very clear just owning my lane because that drains me. When people come like try to do a dump of all these challenges at work, I'm like, you got to work with another coach who specializes doing this. But if you're looking to make a change, I can help you do that. If you want to learn how to market yourself, to sell yourself, I can help you do that. Right? So you see where I'm going to, it's just even getting clear on like what will drain you when clients come to you for those problems. Is that you or not? And that's going to help you with your positioning and messaging. Anyone else? Ahas? I need to share here. I used to use the following statement to help me stay focused. I help the people go from problem to promise. I love that. The people you help, what's the challenge you're faced with, and the promise that you're here to solve, to deliver. Amazing. Good. Thank you. Okay. All right. So I want to move into, I know most of you are interested in this topic, is what to double down on to build a six-figure coaching business, because all of you want to get more consistent leads. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of these things to work on, right? If you're trying to grow it, we call it 5K months, 10K months, or even 20K months, stop trying to do everything. Start doubling down on these three things. Number one, brand building, building your brand. You want people to know what you do, who you're for. Like, what do you really want to be known for in the world? So this starts with a consistent messaging, a clear niche, and a compelling presence. Okay, your brand isn't just your logo, it's the feeling that people get when they think of you. Right? So ask yourself, what am I known for? What do people come to me for? So I'll give you an example, right? So I shifted from career coaching to business coaching last year. So in many ways last year, I was building a new business from scratch. And for a long time, this past decade, my signature talks that I get asked were always around personal branding and networking, because that's what I'm really good at, what I've been known for, and I have courses around that. Now, so I've been putting out a lot of content around that. Now, what has shifted in just the last 3 to 4 months, if you look at my content, I shift from talking about branding, networking to more business, meaning how to build a six-figure business, because that is what my audience is asking. My audience is telling me, Diana, I'm not looking for someone to teach me just LinkedIn content or how to build my LinkedIn brand. I'm looking for a business strategist, business advisor. So that prompted me, okay, I need to start changing my content strategy that no longer just talk about the broader topics of branding networking, but talk about the problems like people are faced with getting leads, conversions, how to transition from one-on-one to group coaching program. So I'm listening to my audience of what they're asking me and shifting my strategy, and that changes perception, right? So I'm now building a brand around being a business growth strategist versus just a personal branding strategist other. Okay, so that's number one. I really believe if you double down on brand building, this is where you build your audience, you build your authority, you build your credibility, which then creates demand. Number two is relationship building. This is where I believe like majority of your sales will come from. Your next client could be in your inbox right now or one referral away. You want to engage, follow up, collaborate, refer others, especially when you're starting out. The cold audience is going to take time to convert, right? In sales, it takes at least 7 to 9 follow-ups for one to say yes. So when you're first starting out, you got to give yourself a good first year to build the trust factor, the authority factor. But if you want to quickly close some sales in your first year, tap into your network. Tap into your existing warm network of people. Let them know you're in business. Let them know what your offers are, who you're serving, like what are your ideal clients, what kind of problems you're solving. Plant that seed. Okay, just saying that you have a business, most of your friends in your network have no idea what you offer, what you do. So even having those coffee chats to practice those conversations is already helping you practice your sales pitch. By making more offers, by putting yourself out there, talking more about your offers is how it's going to help you to create more momentum and get more sale there. The third to double down on is skills building. So this is all about leveling up your skills. So really mastering your craft as a coach. Okay, that's one skill. So I know a lot of you have invested in coaching already. Mastering your craft as being great with sales conversations, being great with AI. Like these days, this is like a huge one that we can't ignore anymore, is mastering the skill using AI to increase productivity, to increase our performance in creating like content, right? You don't need more tools, but you need sharper skills. And this will elevate your perceived value and marketability. Okay. So this is what I really believe to double down on is what's going to really be a game changer. I think of it as if you want to future-proof your career and business these days, big part is like the brand. I've had many clients, I'm going to share a story with you, who build the brand first when they're working in corporate. I'm curious how many of you are still in a corporate job or are looking to starting a business right now. A lot of people I've seen is start with building the online brand first before they monetize. So I'll give you an example. One of my client, Jean, She went from corporate to 200K business in 6 months. Before working with me, Jean essentially quit her corporate job with a strong personal brand. She built her brand about following of about 70,000 people, followers. But she also built her email list with 5,000 email subscribers. Okay, but she didn't have an offer. She didn't sell anything. She just focused on brand building, audience building, getting onto her list. So when we came to work together, what we did was she wanted to map out her first offer and launch. She didn't want to do one-on-one coaching. She wanted to get right into cohort-based group coaching with an email-only launch. Okay. Now she specialized in helping program managers land jobs because her corporate background is a program manager. So that's her niche, very, very specific. Okay. So the result of that is that she had her first sold out launch. 10 people. She only wanted 10 people in her cohort. First sold out launch, 10 people, 3K an offer, 30K sale there. And then she repeated it and repeated it. Other. Now she also, because she has a brand, she diversified. This is what she diversified also her income stream with closing brand deals because she has a massive following. Like now she has like 200,000 followers. So the lesson here that I want to offer you here is build your audience before your launch, right? Building your brand. Your relationships are assets. It's the trust. Email marketing still converts, okay? Especially with a nurture list, right? You have control of following up, communicating with them, building that list. Once your offer works once, what do? You repeat and do it over and over again and scale instead of reinventing. So she's now since done it at least, I think every quarter she launches, it's been a year now, at least 4 or 5 launches that she's done. And she keeps tweaking and tweaking. Okay. And then the other is that income diversification can create long-term stability. I don't recommend that until you have either a big following with a demand. In this case, it's like coaching plus brand deals. It's not necessarily 2 coaching programs. Okay. Because that will impact your availability, but also your marketing efforts when you think about it. When you have 2 different offers, 2 different audience, you essentially need to double your marketing campaign efforts in your schedule. Okay. Questions, thoughts around this? On what to double down on? Let me check in here with everyone. It's coming up for you. Good. All right. Thumbs up from Kareen. Good. This is resonating. Okay. Good. 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 Okay. All right. This is good. It's resonating. I'm curious to hear from you. What are some things that you've been doing with regards to brand building or relationship building? Or maybe what you're not doing?
Diana, I'll be vulnerable, get out there.
Yeah, who's this? Jason?
Jason, yes.
Yeah.
So I have an HR networking group. I used to be in HR as a leader. Most people here know what Amazon is. So a lot of, trial by fire, but, getting off the treadmill of life and being able to build your own brand and business. I've been using this HR network of basically 500 people, and most of them are in search mode. And, that particular sector has been hit hard, but, trying to be a voice, trying to, let them know that there is help, there is assistance, there is a different way. But I've been caring more about direction than speed. So I would say that's where I'm trying to put that rhythm and effort into trying to find my voice. But I'm noticing it's not my right audience. It's maybe a little too close to home where sometimes you can't teach a teacher or someone who thinks they know the best. So that is a challenge that I'm dealing with right now. But I at least am trying to do things that I haven't done yet or
Okay, good
hadn't
to
done
know.
before.
What's the new audience you're thinking of?
My background's in fundraising and prior to HR, so I'm thinking more about the niche of how can I be useful in terms of managing those relationships to grow that scale of an annual fund gift to a major gift or a deferred gift, and being able to challenge the people that are out on the front lines meeting those prospective donors. So shift their mindset.
Got it. Okay. So something to think about is, this is for all of us, is learning here, is how big is the pain? the pain of what you're solving. And why this matters is in terms of your offer, is do you have an improvement offer or a transformational offer? Meaning you're more likely to close a transformational offer that it's like game changing for people. And this is why they say a lot of times if it's helping people to, they call it improve like growth or wealth, like make more money, improve their health or relationships. Those are things like what we see that like people are more willing to buy. And so when we think of a messaging standpoint, we need to think of the pain itself. How big is the pain that people are willing to pay or hire your services other, right? And then that affects your messaging and positioning for people to come to you for their services there. So as an example, I'm going to use an example, like going back to when I was in career coaching as well. What I noticed, those who were unemployed for more than a year came to me because the pain was so big that they couldn't bear it anymore, meaning they've been trying to find a job on their own and weren't getting any results. Versus it was less about people, oh, I just lost my job, I need a coach. They probably just want to be like, oh, I just need someone to update my resume and I'll be fine. Like that's their thinking because they just lost their job. I just need someone to update my resume. And I get a lot of those requests. I was like, I don't do that. Like that's not the type of work I want to do that I do. And so that's something really to really consider is where are they at in their journey, the readiness to buy, the sense of urgency to buy. Okay. A question from Kathy. Some coaches do clarity for both career changers and entrepreneurs at the same time. What's your take on that? Oh, good question, Kathy. I love that. Love that question. So I see this a lot. I think at the end of the day, if you really want to scale, we got to be really focused. Even for me last year when I was in the transition, like moving into business coaching and serving coaches to grow their business, I still had some career coaching clients. I never really advertised it as much. I would help even some existing, my former clients or those who referred me. But what I did was I said I no longer did job search coaching, but the only thing I did that I enjoyed doing that was really called like short-term coaching was interview coaching. What I found though was as I continued to grow this business coaching side of my business, I had less time and focus to serve this other market. So what's going to happen when you serve both is we need to ask yourself in terms of our attention and energy, where does that time go? And even when you think about those who do both one-on-one coaching and group coaching, so I have a program, that signature program is both one-on-one access to me and the group, right? All into that program there. Now, when I have clients who are just one-on-one, which I rarely do anymore, like just pure one-on-one coaching, what happens is they're going to feel left, they're not going to necessarily feel left out, but I feel like I can't give as much attention to them because I'm constantly updating my signature program kinds of what we're working on, the guest sessions that we have, what we're doing. They're going to feel like, okay, like that they only get just that one-on-one time with me when we have the sessions and not part of this group program there. And so this is where you want to think about is from a client experience standpoint and from your own energy management, time management standpoint, how does that impact you and the clients? That's a decision that you need to make. And so I've now also made that decision too, that I would rarely take on, and I see this a lot too, a lot of new coaches coming in. They're like, Diana, I only need a couple sessions with you and just get that clarity, get it going, and then maybe I'll come back to you. I've done a couple of those, but what happens is they're missing out on everything else that I'm doing for all my signature program clients who are getting like the weekly check-ins with me, the guest expert sessions, access to everything, when I know they're just going to benefit from it and it's going to skyrocket their business. And so I've now made that decision too, that I don't take on clients who are just starting their business for just pure one-on-one because I know they're going to get so much more in this group program that I'm running efficiently here. Right? It's a disservice. The way I want to think about it, it's actually a disservice to someone saying like they just think they need this, but when really they're not going to get the full value of what you can truly offer from your full signature program. So that's something to really consider is really from the overall experience standpoint. Yeah. Elaine said, benefit from my interview coaching, got the job. Yes, amazing. Amazing. Yeah. So I think eventually it's like you got to make that decision too. Like even within the space, like given this past year, and this is why I offer these business mentoring sessions right now too. Part of it's for me to give back. But I notice a lot of you are still early in their journey, right? A lot of you are early in their journey. So investing in a long-term program, it's either not feasible or it's hard to commit. And so for me, it's like I want to do this as part one to give back, but I want to accelerate a lot of your growth as well. Because most of the clients who come to me have either been trying to do it on their own for some time for the first year and feeling stuck, not getting that income goal and want to get to that 10, 20K months. And so it's really important to understand where your clients are at in their journey and what can you do to provide them to increase the trust factor and add value to help them get into eventually into your program there. Okay. Is this helpful? Yes. Yeah, perfect. Remy, you have a question? I see you raise your hand.
Well, actually, it's just based on that and actually resonate a bit with me. And I'm trying to, just to get back to those questions, is I've been trying to meet with people more into a discovery mode to figuring out what actually are their pains, because you have an idea of what you think you can solve, but then having the discussions with the actual people might get says, well, actually it's something else or something different. And then that's a bit of my struggle where I am. It says, how much time do I leave myself into that exploration mode? And maybe point back to this point number 4 about turning maybe some of those conversations into actually a sale conversation that I didn't do. But I figure out I'm still trying to figure out how I get to know what are the real pains, because I can think about what were my pains when I were on their job, but this is still the pain that have them. So I think I don't know if there is any idea about that, but I'm thinking of just meeting people and having chat with them, trying to get as much as I can from a discussion with them to bring me building a little bit a picture of what's happening on the market. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh.
So yeah, so something I want to teach you, what you're talking about here is actually the lead qualification and lead nurturing. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this. I actually talk to my clients a lot about this right now. There's a difference between, when we think about from a lead management process, when you think about it, is that initial touch point to the sales call. So in between, what are you doing? How are you qualifying your leads? That is the question. Are you qualifying your leads? You need to qualify your lead to see if they're the right type of ideal buyers. And the way you want to do that is even before a sales call is either in your booking a call form, you have specific questions to ask to understand their pain points, their challenges, their goals. Why are they interested in working with you? What questions do they have? And so that's going to help you prepare for the call better as well. And then prior to that, you can also engage with them through either LinkedIn DM conversations to nurture and to understand further. And so a big part of this is asking like, hey, am I spending enough time of getting to know my prospects more before even the call? Even after they book a call, you want to ask yourself, how well do they know me? Can I share with them some testimonials, success stories, a little video, a Loom video about you that will increase their excitement and trust factor when they meet with you? I've had times when people come on a call with me, they're like, Diana, I've watched every single video of yours. I watched your live stream show. I've been on your list for many years, and I'm so excited I can finally get to talk to you. That energy that you have is so different when they've actually done the work and they're so engaged and want to work with you versus that initial, okay, what are we talking about today? So we're spending more time to build a trust if they've never had any type of insights, information, or experience with you. And this is what we call the pre-buy experience. The pre-buy experience is what's going to increase the trust factor for them to more likely to want to work with you, right? So these are things like whether having that DM conversation, sending them a voice note, sending them a Loom video, inviting them to an event, like experiences like this, a mentoring session with you or Q&A session with you, or getting a freebie from you, or getting a playlist of your courses or videos. Essentially, what studies have shown, people need to spend at least even 47 minutes to watch your content or hear from you, learn from you before they're ready to buy. And so you want to ask yourself, these calls I'm getting on, do they know anything about me at all? Because if they don't, the likelihood of moving forward is low. Or what you're going to have to ask yourself is, what else do I need to do to nurture this after this first call? What else do I need to share with them to have another follow-up call? Is this helpful? This is like the whole lead management, qualification, nurturing process. I spend a lot of time talking to my clients about this because I'll tell you this. Every stage of your growth journey in your business, you're going to face a bottleneck, meaning the first challenge right now is probably brand building, audience building. The next is going to be getting leads, right? Getting people inquiring your services. The next problem you're going to face with is getting these leads into a sales call. I have clients who are proactive with their outreach, reaching out to hundreds of people a month, but not getting sales calls. And what I identify the bottleneck is they're in the friendly zone of conversation. Hey, how's it going? I see that we graduate from the same school, same year, or we live in the same city. It's in the friendly zone of networking conversations. But where you want to get at is this is where is wearing the hat of really curiosity as a coach of asking more about, hey, like what are some of your goals for that you have for your career or your business? What are those pain points? What are you stuck with? What will be valuable for you? And then you can say, hey, I have something that I can either offer you, like, would you be interested in this resource or would you like to hop on a call with me? That's part of the qualifying other. Okay. And then the next stage, what I say, I have clients who get hundreds of sales calls and not closing. And so that bottleneck is what? They're getting the right people into their funnel, but they're not closing because they're not connecting. I talked about these 4 C's, the 4 C's of why people may not buy or why people would buy. The number one is the connection. This is the trust building, the rapport building. Right? Do they trust you? Is there this chemistry, the connection? Number two is the confidence. Confidence in your own abilities that you can deliver and get great results. Confidence in your offer. Right? Do you speak with that conviction? As much as you think people buying your offer, they're buying you. So are you showing up that way they can feel that energy in you, that you're confident in your abilities? Number three is the clear communication. Are you clear who you serve, what problems you solve, the transformation you can get for them, or the results you can get for them? Number four is the compelling examples and stories. This is what we call the proof, the evidence of support. What's your track record of success? If you're just starting out, you're your own best testimonial. You talk about your own journey, how you apply your own methods to get to where you are today. That would be your own testimonial. And then you start gathering other testimonials to share. Okay. Karine, you had your hand up here. You have a comment or question?
Yes, I do. First of all, I want to say thank you for your time, Diana. This is really, really interesting. And yeah, I'm listening to you and I have all these thoughts coming to my, coming up. And so I'll speak for myself. I do a lot of resume writing. I work mainly with business professionals and executives. And I'd say since, this whole AI revolution has really taken off, in the recent months, I felt it. So I feel how it's been, it's the more it's getting publicized and more people are using it, more and more people are turning to AI to write their resume, to prepare for job interviews. So I really do see that. And there's been also a lot of layoffs. There's been a lot of people going through financial situations with, the cost of everything and layoffs. So I feel that there's been a bit of resistance as well in terms of budget, whereas before, I would ask for it and it was not a problem. And so I feel that I haven't spent much time doing the whole branding and the presentation on LinkedIn and, being so active on there because it was just happening for me. It was just happening for me. I had a lot of referrals and it was just sticking, the sales were coming in. And so for me to just now I see how beautiful some people are presenting themselves, the video contents, the Photoshop, no, I wouldn't say Photoshop, but it just almost looks like Photoshop quality. It's beautiful the way
Yeah.
and so I'm like, okay, so this is like a whole part-time job by itself because they're always on. They're constantly posting, constantly new pictures, constantly new videos. And it just feels like it's like half the work already. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way. I'm just being vulnerable here.
Yeah.
Feels, but it feels like they spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of energy being online and nurturing that audience. So for me, that feels like, can I even do this by myself? Or do I need to hire a team? Like, do I need to hire a photographer? Do I need to have somebody edit my videos and all of this?
Yeah.
So I don't know if, I'm rambling on, but that kind of feels a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
And I don't know where to start. And I'm not sure if this is them or if it's a team of people working behind the scenes. So I just wanted to take ask your
Yeah.
advice on
I
that.
love it. I love it. I'm going to talk a little bit about I'm actually going to talk about the different hats you need to wear, but I'm going to address some of your specific things that you're talking about as well here. So first of all, I think part of growing your business, this goes back to how do you want to define success? I'm all about building a business that aligns with the life that you want. Okay, so everyone has their own business model of growth. Like I've talked to many coaches, like even who has had like big businesses, everyone's business model is different. So at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you are creating business that aligns to you, aligns to the lifestyle that you want, the hours that you want to work. Like even for me, I only work part-time hours right now, 20, 25-hour work week. And so one of the things I want you to think about is that 4 different type of hats or business identities that you need to wear as you think about growing your business. Number one is the hat as a coach. Right? As a coach, if you're here to transform lives, being great at what you do to help people get results, referrals, and testimonials. That's like that mastering that skill, mastering your craft to keep sharpening it. So that's number one to help with future-proofing your business. Number two is the creator. I think this is what you're getting at here, Karine. Being the creator, this is actually part of your visibility engine, your marketing engine. Creating content, sharing your voice, building trust with your audience. You don't need to go viral, but you do want to be valuable and visible consistently. You can outsource this part as well. You still want to be your own voice, your own message, but you can hire people to help you with content creation, design, posting, checking the comments, engaging. I have a virtual assistant specifically helping with content creation. The ideas are from me though. Like I'm the brain in terms of the vision, the themes, what I want to talk about. That's mine, like the intellectual is mine there, but then I share it with my VA to be like, this is what I need help to create this image, this quote. I used to do it myself as well, but the reality is, like even editing my own videos, it's too much time. It did not make sense anymore. So one of the book that really it's helpful is checking out the book, Buy Back Your Time, is to really like understand like what are things I can delegate and outsource. Okay. So that's number two, is the creator hat. The third hat here is the closer hat. So this is really sales. So you want to guide people from interest to action and seeing selling is serving with clarity and conviction. It's not just about the pressure sell, right? But it's really about believing what you can do to help people other. And so it's really important, I think, also thinking about how do I essentially improve my offer in this case, like knowing that AI is on the horizon and there's this either objection or resistance to people buying. How do I improve the value proposition of my offer or improve my offer that makes it people say yes? So I'll give you an example. Like I've done still like a lot of interview coaching, and something that I've added value to help my clients is using AI to create a custom interview guide based on the role that they're targeting and the resume. So I'll feed it into AI to help create a custom guidebook. And that has been so invaluable in terms of increasing the perceived value. So something you want to ask yourself is how can I leverage that to increase the market value? Ultimately, being like a resume writer, you still bring in the value of that storytelling piece. Right? You're the strategist, you're the brain, you're the one who helps create that narrative and that weave that in. So you want to be able to sell that versus just the resume itself, the content itself. Okay, so that's something really to think about other. Lastly is the CEO, right? Really setting the vision for your business of where you're taking. Okay. Deciding where you want to spend your time, energy, and money. Creating systems, setting boundaries, creating space for growth. Okay, even if you're a solopreneur, start acting like a CEO of a 6-figure brand and business. Focus on revenue generating activities. So that's one of the key thing is that if you had to like cut out a bunch of stuff, is asking yourself, am I focusing on revenue generating activities? And so you want to master these 4 C's of being a coach or a consultant, a creator, a closer, and a CEO to grow your business. And so, Karina, I want to address what you're talking here because I know a lot of you feel this. I have heard from coaches or business owners, they have content burnout, right? Content burnout, feel like it's on the hamster wheel creation. And it's so important, instead of feeling that you have to be on 24/7 or that I need to post every single day, what's actually more important is really think of it from a strategy standpoint of, okay, what am I trying to achieve here? Like, what's the end goal? Like, if the end goal, there's a difference between being a creator of just putting content for the sake of it versus being someone, a creator who converts. And so if you want to convert to leads and buyers, your content should include content around either case studies, testimonials, a step-by-step guide of how you take them from the pain to possibilities. What's your path to get them there? So then it's more specific of your methodology of how you teach them. Because a big part here, what we're getting at now is, how do I differentiate? How do I differentiate and stand out as a business owner to get more leads and clients, right? That's the topic that we're talking about here, is how do I consistently get clients and stand out? So I'm going to offer some more tactical stuff for you to think about. Okay. So here are a few things that you want to think about when it comes to getting more leads. Is number one, position yourself as the go-to expert. So stop blending in. Build a clear brand around who you help, what you help them with, and the transformation you deliver. Your messaging should make people say, I need this. Create that magnetic tagline, the profile headline. Share your own unique story and point of view. Your story is your business strategy to growth because it's unique to you. Owning your niche, even if others do something similar, but you do it your way. Okay, so for example, even for me, I teach a lot about building a business that aligns with your lifestyle without burning out, without stressing out. I talk a lot about self-care and I live by that. A lot of people know that I have my CEO pampering days or I host retreat days. Very different from some other coaches who really focus more on the hustle, the systems. It's very, very different. Right? So own that there. Number two is to create that consistent value-driven content. Visibility with value does not convert. So your content should do one of these three things. Number one is to educate. Teach them something that builds trust, right? Because that's giving you, showcasing your expertise. Number two is to empower. Shift their mindset or belief. Belief in investing in themselves, that it's worth it, especially in today's economy. Like, one of the best things is to invest in yourself to see the best return on investment. Number three, engage. Start those conversations that lead to connection. Whether it's through engaging in the comments, in the DM conversations, checking out people who view your profile on LinkedIn. Like, these are what we call the lurkers. There's a lot of lurkers there who are not engaging, but they're checking you out, right? So be proactive to say hello. Number three, build those relationships, not just a reach. You don't need a big audience. You don't need a big following. You just need a connected one. Quality over quantity. Right? Engage with them, send the DMs. I have my Friday, I call it Pay It Forward Fridays, where either I'll make introductions or I'll send voice notes, or share like a valuable like article or a podcast or something, and just keep paying it forward and it's going to come back. Right? Nurture your community, your list, showing up, being genuine with your insights, invitations, focusing on the referrals, collaborations, and conversations. Like, this is part of my strategy this year. Like, I realized like one of my superpower is really about community building, connections, and conversations. So for me, I'm focused a lot on two-way communication, meaning I'm hosting events like this where you get to talk to me and I get to talk to you, not just through the email, but I'm actually connecting with you all. Or I'm hosting in-person events where I host mastermind days at a spa where I get to spend the day with you as well. And so it's really building trust, but also understanding of what are people going through and how can I help them. Okay. And lastly, it's around using lead magnets. to capture interest. This is part of building your list as well, whether it's a free PDF, a video, an audit, or a challenge. Offer something specific for your niche there and have that follow-up sequence. Okay, so I'll share with you a case study. Erica, a very powerful case study. From almost quitting her business to building a 6-figure business in 6 months. So before working with me, Erica was stuck under 5K months, ready to quit. First year in business. She offered a la carte services, no clear niche, no clear offering. Like she just had like these like surface offering, but wasn't really clear on how to tie everything together. So what we did was revamping her LinkedIn profile to make it more optimized, magnetic, and marketable. Clarified her niche, transitioned to more high ticket one-on-one and group coaching offers, and implemented a lead conversion system with a full-time VA. So the result of that was that she now attracts 100 plus leads through LinkedIn, even though she's only about 10, 15,000 followers, closed 10 clients a month consistently, diversified her revenue stream with 5-figure brand deals and paid speaking opportunities, and consistently earns 25K months. So her business has now since grown to over 300,000. And so some of the insights I want to share with you from this case study is niche clarity, getting clear on who you serve. That will get you faster, easier, and better conversions. And charging as a package offering versus hourly rate so that you can provide deeper transformations. Right? So less transactional sale, but more transformational offerings. Having systems and support like a VA is what's also going to create that sustainable growth. Okay. Questions? Is this helpful? Think about here. Karine, was that helpful? I know a guide. Yeah?
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's a lot of content, a lot of information, but definitely very helpful. Thank you.
You asked a specific question. I think this is relevant to all of us too here. Is you talked about, one of the questions to ask is, how do I continue to grow without burning out, or even like with 2 young kids, is it possible? And it is possible. So to me, one thing I always get my clients to think about is, what does your ideal work schedule look like? What does your ideal schedule look like there? And figure that out and block off times where on your non-negotiable. So for me, like I don't start meetings till 9:30. I'm done by 3:30 because I got to pick up kids. Those are my boundaries that I set very clearly. And so I also communicate to my clients that typically I'm off Mondays and Fridays, so they get my support Tuesday to Thursdays there. And so I think first is even just getting clear on that ideal work schedule for you. I also block off like 12 to 1 for lunch meetings. And I also like to have space, meaning the unexpected happens. If I get a call from a school that I need to pick up my kids, I always buffer that. And so just first step is just getting clear on how you want to operate and run your business. From there, then you want to think about what are things I need to say no to that I'm no longer doing, that's no longer serving or draining me. Do I stop doing this, or do I delegate it to hire for help? Like one thing that's really changed for me this past year after reading the book, Buy Back Your Time, was once you figure out your buy back your time rate, meaning essentially is how much you make divided by 2,000 hours, assuming you work 40-hour work week. If you're making $100 an hour, if you can hire a virtual assistant for $10 an hour and save you that 1 hour to do other more revenue generating activities or energizing activities, that's worth it. Right. And so you can buffer. A lot of people say like, oh, I can't afford to hire someone to help me yet. But when you think about back in terms of your rate, and when you get to hire an assistant to help you with certain things, how that could be a game changer, right? So right now, like I have a dedicated video editor who helps me with editing all my videos like that. In order for me to create like 20 videos, like even from like say this session, like 20 clips from this, is I have a VA helping me out using AI that would make micro clips as well. Okay, so all of those things I want to think about is how do I improve my efficiency, but improve my energy level, and optimize your schedule accordingly. So even simple things I always challenge my clients to do is optimize your work schedule. So for example, if you're doing 1-hour coaching sessions, make it 45 minutes. So you have a 15-minute break in between sessions. If you're doing an hour and a half session, make it 75 minutes. So you have another 15-minute in between. Right. This is something I learned back in 2020 when I had about like 100 clients on my roster. 2020 was that crazy year with the pandemic, and I did a lot of one-on-one coaching. And I was optimizing my schedule every single quarter. And I noticed times where I was burnt out and all that, and I realized I just need to optimize my schedule and set those boundaries as well. And so it's very important to look at even your schedule. Am I optimizing it in terms of efficiency, but also energy level there? And are you giving yourself downtime to think? Okay. Even from a content creation, I think one of the questions someone asked me too about content creation, you don't have to be creating content every single day. I used to do that. I would like one of the things to improve my writing was every day after I dropped off kids, I would write content. Now, with the help of AI, you can create a 30-day content plan in literally minutes. And then you give that to a VA to go execute. Right? So the content is still you, meaning your brain of what you want that can be done in minutes. And then you hire someone to do the execution of it so that you don't have to spend hours on the design, the posting, and scheduling. Thoughts,
Diana,
insights? What are you
yeah,
learning? Yes, Emmanuel
Diana, I just,
or Jason?
sorry,
Jason's before
yeah,
me.
I just wanted to ask, I love this topic of lead qualification. And so as someone who is probably meeting, I'll call it 10 people a week, one of the things I'm doing, and I'd like to hear for your opinion on this, is I'll take 45 minutes of time to say hello, learn about their journey, some of those questions that you need to ask. But if I find that sense of we like each other, I'll follow up and use a Google form and maybe ask anywhere between 6 to 8 questions that really drive it, like, what would the value of the relationship be? Before even talking about the sale. And I'm wondering, is that too slow? Is that insightful? Is that a good method? Like, I'm just curious because I really do hone into the transformation, not the transaction. I'm looking at the bigger picture, not just, hey, I want to go sell you something, right? I want to make the connection to we can plug and play and be partners. So I'd like to hear some of those thoughts.
Is this specific on a sales call or just a networking call?
So say someone who knows what you do, right? You have an opportunity to talk for 45 minutes about pain points or whatever's going on, but you give them additional time to look inward to figure out, is this the right thing for them to do? That's what I allow them to take the form and to go deeper in and really allowing them to talk about their goals or the ways in which, their barriers, whatever exists. But essentially it's more information for me to say, I can help.
Got it. Okay, so one thing I want to talk about, this is a grid as we think about the wrapping up here. This is actually more sales of what you're asking. It's not just the nurturing piece. And one thing I want to put out, what's really important, distinguishing the difference between sales calls versus networking calls. Because the way you set up a call, the expectation of it changes your entire flow and discussion of it. So when you just set up a general networking call, you don't know if they're interested in buying or not. Like you're just kind of having a chit chat there. So the conversation could feel a little awkward, meaning you're kind of dancing, like, should I ask them out? Should I ask them if they're interested in working with me? Right? You're in this like, oh, I'm not sure if I should just be a bit more proactive or not. Whereas if you're on a sales call, if it's set up properly, you qualify them. You're setting expectation that we're here to learn more about your needs, goals, and challenges and how I can help you. And if there's interest, I'll share with you more about my offer. And so the energy and the way you carry yourself is very, very different. And so it's very important for you to ask, what's the intent of this conversation? What's the intended outcome of this conversation? For me, these days, I don't really hop on as many networking calls just because I get a lot of these asked. And instead, now I'd rather people come to sessions like this because everyone wants to pick my brain, and I'm not able to spend half an hour to do that as much anymore. And I think this is more valuable when I have a group setting like this to answer your questions in a networking call. Whereas if someone's really interested in working with me, they've already filled out the form, and it's prepped in a sense, it's set up in a sense that, hey, we're going to talk about you today, of your challenges and goals, and you're going to ask me questions on what you're looking for in a coach. And if there is interest, I'm going to share more about my offer and follow up. And so when you think about that, it feels more clean. It feels more sharp. And the way you speak is less just dancing and see, should I share about this or not? You're actually like, hey, like, here's my offer. And are you interested in working with me? If so, then let's talk. One of the things I talk a lot about is that if you have people, we call it highly expressed interest in working with you, These are signals, like buying signals. Like, Diana, like, I really want to work with you, but I can't afford you. Or I'm interested, I'm in, but I'm just not sure yet. To me, if there are people who are signaling that I want to work with you, I'm interested in you, you want to nurture that because that shows that you've already built enough trust from either your content, your conversations. They're just not ready to pull the trigger yet because they just feel like, I'm not sure if I'm ready. I get a lot of this. A lot of people tell me, they're like, Diana, I feel like you only work with celebrity coaches. I'm like, no, it's not true. You just think that I work with celebrity coaches because they have a big following. I have a lot of coaches who are not celebrity coaches. So I need to break that perceived barrier as well too, right? By having conversations like this. And so, and this is where you need to ask yourself is like, then how do I break certain perceptions and barriers or invite them to have that conversation with you there? The other thing to keep in mind is, and I'm seeing this a lot, like for me, the last few weeks of talking to a lot of people, you're going to face times where people give you an objection, meaning like, yes, I want to work with you. Like my heart's saying this, but my logical mind's saying no, because it's too much. And so then you need to trust your intuition on judgment on, is this someone you really want to help, that you believe you can help? If so, have the possibility mindsets of how can we make this work? Because what's going to happen is a lot of times when people want to invest, but they've never invested that much, or it's their first time investing, the logical mind is going to be like keeping you safe. This is too much. I don't know if I can get my return back on investment. So you got to hold space for that. And as a coach or the closer, you got to be able to help them see the possibilities without judgment. You got to show compassion as well. What's the real objection? Is it really money? Like maybe say, is it really money that they're objecting, that they can't afford you? Or is it more, they're not sure if they can believe themselves to get the results they want? You see where I'm getting at? That's the coaching or deeper that you want to ask to help moving the needle there.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Like this is something I'm so passionate about talking because now we're talking deeper now. It's not just the initial networking. Yes, that's important. You want to build trust and rapport. But it's like, what's the purpose here? What's the end goal here? You're interested in working with me? Let's figure it out. Let's make it happen. And so when you think about this, I want to ask you all, like, it's not just strategy now. I want to ask you as a takeaway, what's the energy you want to be in that will help with closing, moving the needle? What are some words? Give me some words here. Either you want to type it in or say it out loud.
Passion.
Passion. Okay. What else?
Clarity.
Clarity. Conviction. What else?
Confidence.
Confidence.
Yes. Caring might be helpful.
Caring. Yes. Caring.
And sales.
Yeah.
Good sales as
Sales.
well.
Being a real human. Okay. Being a real human. Something
Being humane.
Yeah, humane. Like this, I'll tell you this.
Authentic.
Authentic, right? This is like when in the world of AI now, what's more important is the human connection and authenticity. The genuine factor. That is more important than anything than ever right now. I'll tell you that. All right. I've talked to many coaches who want to work with me the last few weeks. And one of the consistent things I've heard either cases where I've been burnt by other coaches, where I didn't get the level of service that I expected. And I just feel it's something different from with you, Diana. I feel like that you care. And so that's like the feeling piece. It's not just like the offer itself. Like I can present all the facts of the offer and the roadmap, but if they don't have that connection and trust that I believe that you're the coach to get me there, it doesn't matter. Right?
But can I also say, Diana, because of that, then you don't want to charge for the service. And that's
Ooh,
some
because
of
you
the
want to
challenge.
give. Okay, so this is a whole, okay, whatever.
I'm sorry, Emmanuel, I think I jumped over your hand up. Sorry about that.
Okay. So
No, but I'm
Lakeisha,
going to talk
Lakeisha,
about this. This is like,
sorry,
oh, go
Lakeisha,
ahead.
Lakeisha, you just did something very, very dangerous. You read my mind. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be inside this head. It's a crazy place. Okay, it's a bad place. But no, I mean, just to follow up on Lakeisha's point, Diana, if you don't mind, and because Karine had mentioned it earlier with AI. So one of the things that I tend to do, and I'm worried that I might be making a mistake here, is because I know they can do their resumes on AI. I also go into the whole coaching piece, how to utilize your resume effectively within the context of an interview. Those were normally two separate pieces, which are now sort of bundled into one. Is this a mistake?
So something that I've learned a lot from other folks as well is I like to think about it is selling a transformation, but selling your signature offer. Instead of thinking of selling piecemeal things, sell your signature offer program. Because you can add more value, you can add more either bonuses, you just have a lot more to offer than just selling a transactional type of service. So I like to really think of that experience. So for example, like even what I'm doing right now is work with me for the year, but you also have an opportunity to come to my mastermind retreat days as that experience, the transformation experience. You can be with me for the year, or you also get that there. So it's like, how do I add more value, transformation, and connection? And that's how you can also, one, it's upsell, but also like improve the whole client experience as well there. And
Wow.
I just want to address a point to wrap up here is that the point about, and I understand it because there's a lot of you are givers. I know that. I'm a giver too. I do a lot of pro bono work myself. We got to keep in mind you're running a business. You're running a business. So there is time that you want to what I call give, which I do. Like I do my monthly business mentoring sessions like this. I run my monthly coaches in business real talk where I invite guest speaker. Those are my two like free things that I do that I'm committed to, that I'm happy to do. And I do like an in-person event every other month. And then there's a time where I'm like, okay, I need to make sure I'm getting on sales calls with people as well. Right? Like make sure that I'm getting on these calls and make sure that I'm managing like every week how many people I'm talking to, sit down and talk to, like send 20, 30 voice notes as well to build those relationships. Right. And so what's important is shifting that mindset. You still want to give, but also serve, and also see it as it's actually a disservice if you're not talking about ways to work with you, how to continue to move deeper. That's a very important mindset shift that, oh, I just spent time giving this service or like this suggestion and they're going to just figure it out other. And so that's the mindset shift that you need to see is how can I continue to be a greater service by sharing more of what they want to work with me. And so this is actually a great segue as I wrap up here, right? If you're ready to go deeper and you're interested in working with me in growing your business, I want to share more. And I invite you to book a call with me. Have this call with me. I want to hear more about you, your needs, your goals and desires, your challenges, and chat further. And I've already alluded a few ways to work with me. One is like part of my In-Demand Coach Accelerator. It is a one-year program where I support you throughout the entire year. And we have 2 to 4 group sessions privately with all my clients. You have the option to have direct access to me, text and voice messaging support, which is one of the most powerful features of my clients say that to get the fastest growth is having that direct WhatsApp text messaging support with me. And we also have guest expert sessions throughout the year as well. But what we go deeper that's different from today, what we talk about is it's hot seat coaching and mentoring. So I really dive deep, being hands-on in your business, where I do a business audit and look at, okay, what's the right strategy for your business, for you? Like not just a cookie cutter one, but it really is based on how many hours you want to work. How do we want to create that strategy? For some people, it's like, I want to continue doing one-on-one coaching. For some, I want to do hybrid group coaching. For some, they're like, I want to leverage speaking to get more coaching leads. For some, it's like, I want to get more brand deals. And so ultimately, it's really tailored to you there. And I think that's what's really differentiating me in terms of me being a business growth strategist compared to other programs out there. It's a more smaller, intimate group of 20 to 30 people. So it's not as like you feel like you're a number, but you actually get to know me and for me to know you as well. And that direct access, like I've had clients working full-time corporate where they've never come to a group session and be able to pivot, get 5-figure brand deals, speaking deals, just even having that, right? Recently, I had a client, we haven't even had a first one-on-one session yet. She was about to pitch a leadership proposal. And we basically crafted a 100K proposal for her to submit, like a 6-month leadership proposal for group coaching. And I remember her saying, Diana, like, I was what's the word? Nauseous over the weekend. I was eating Cheetos. I couldn't believe that I was asking for 100K for this. But when we worked at the math, it's going to spend over 100 hours of work for 6 leaders 15K per person or so, I'm like, that makes sense, right? But never done something like that. And so you have someone who really helps you think bigger and dream bigger of what's even possible for you. Right, so a big part of playing the next level, I haven't talked a lot about this as I wrap up here, is around your mindset, belief, and confidence. Okay, if you want to scale to your first 10K, 20K month, or get to your first 100K business and grow it to 250K and half a million, yes, you need the right strategy. Yes, you need a clear offer and a solid sales process. But none of that matters if you don't believe that you can do it. The inner game is what unlocks the next level. Do you believe you're worthy of charging 2K, 5K, or 10K for your work? Do you speak about your offer with the confidence of someone who knows it's going to change lives? Do you trust yourself to show up consistently, even when the results aren't instant? Here's what I do know. Every time I've made a quantum leap in my business, last year doubling my revenue to my best year yet, pivoting from career to business coaching, launching a new offer, raising my prices, it started with a mindset shift. I had to believe I could before I saw the evidence. I had to become the version of myself who could hold that next level. And my clients, the ones who go from 0 to 20K months in 6 months or scale to 200K business in 6 months, they didn't just change their strategy. They changed the way they saw themselves. Because when you believe in your offer, your value, and your voice, you sell differently. You show up bolder. You magnetize opportunities that once felt out of reach. Strategy gives you the roadmap, but mindset is the fuel. And the bigger the vision that you have for yourself and your business, the more belief it's going to require from you. So I'm going to wrap up with this one story. One of my clients just started with me 3 months ago. He was about to quit his business in January, selling low-ticket memberships, a giver, hundreds of job seekers in that program. He was about to find a full-time job. And it wasn't aligned with him. He's been doing this as a great job search coach. And what we did was not only reposition his offer, increase his pricing to now selling 5K offers, pivoting to a new elevated niche of people who are willing to buy, but we restructured his business to align with his strengths, his superpower. So within 3 months, actually within the first month, he hit his highest month revenue ever, over 10K months. And in the last 3 months, he's made over $30,000, consistently over 10K months. And he's on track to surpass his entire 2024 revenue. But what's so beautiful about this, the biggest change, was he believed what was possible for him. He believed in himself. He believed he deserved this. Right? Your pricing should reflect the value and the energy it takes you to deliver. When you believe in your value, then your big income will shift as well. Okay. Was this helpful? Type in a +1. What are some words of how you're feeling today?
Just say +1. +1. Good, 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 good.
Yes. So we wrap up learnings. If you're interested in booking a call with me, visit my website. I'll put it right here as well in our mymarketly.com/call there. I would love to have a conversation with you. Feel free to book that call with me or DM me in the LinkedIn DMs. We'll set it up as well. And I would love to invite you to also come to one of my private client calls, which is very different from sessions like this. Amazing. Thank you. Thoughts, questions, ahas as we wrap up? This was so good. I love this engaged audience today. Thank you for chiming in.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And Korean, you're not out there alone, my sister. You're not the only one struggling with this. You're going to be fine.
Thank you.
My aha moment was just realizing you just said value. If I believe the value is worth that, then why am I not charging that? So there must be some form of a disconnect in my mind that my value is worth the charge. So I need to connect with you to switch that out, like figure
Amazing.
that out.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
amazing. I have a free session next week that's open to the public. It's called Heal to Scale. I'm actually bringing a healer to come in. That's all about unlocking your subconscious block to help you with scaling. So this is very different than the work I do. She's all about helping you understand what may be holding you back, whether it's the fear of showing up online, talking about your offer, how amazing you are. I invite you to that session there. You can DM me for that link. It's open to public. Two of my clients hired her and have experienced like exponential like impact. Like I had a client who, Katie, who I didn't share this story, she went from essentially now like 30K months, like 20, 30K months. And a big part was she was hustling so hard with her launches, first year in business, launching every single month, messaging hundreds of people, but she was burnt out. And I think one of the subconscious block that she had was feeling like, I don't deserve rest yet until I've made it or broken into 6-figure. And so there was part of like the childhood trauma as well too. So I want to invite you to that. Like this is something I'm so excited about because it's not the work that I do, but like healer coming in to help you with unlocking the subconscious block to that there. Oh, thank you for sharing, Victoria. You're here. Thank you for sharing the link. Yes, the session. Click on that link. That's next Thursday, 12 to 1:30 Eastern time. It's free. It's going to be amazing. You got to attend live for that one because she's going to be doing some, I don't know, like her genius work. There's some pre-work where she got you to listen to an exercise and meditation beforehand. So sign up for that and do that pre-work. It's very, very powerful. I've had clients who just love her. So yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much, everyone. This was so amazing to see all of you today. I look forward to connecting with you all further. And thank you so much for sharing that link there, Victoria. Amazing, amazing.
Thank
All
you,
right, take care. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diana.
Bye.
Bye-bye.